When your energy drops, your cells bounce back. But when it happens again and again and again, they stop bouncing and they start adapting. That's when a protective response becomes a slowdown. And in this episode, we're going to look at what happens when those quick, helpful signals become constant background noise. We're going to stay inside the cell for a few minutes, but this time we're going to keep it simple, connecting the chemistry to what you already know: energy, stress, and inflammation. After one hit of fructose, the cell sends short-term alerts, a little oxidative stress, a small burst of inflammation, because it's all meant to fix the energy dip. That's normal biology. But when those alerts keep repeating, the cell stops treating them as alarms, and it starts treating them as a new normal. That's when repair systems slow and the cell shifts from performance to protection. Think of it like a smoke alarm that just never turns off. Eventually, everybody just stops reacting, even though the room is still totally smoky. Fructokinase keeps burning small amounts of ATP every time it's triggered, by sugar, by stress, even by dehydration. And these small energy losses start accumulating. Over days, weeks, even years, the cell settles into a low power rhythm. And the mitochondria, the parts that turn our food into usable energy, start working at partial speed to avoid further strain. That steady stress produces what scientists call oxidative stress. Essentially, friction inside the cell. It's a mix of reactive oxygen and low oxygen flow. And to cope, the cell triggers inflammation, a little controlled fire that's meant to clean up damage. And in small doses, it's healing, but when the stress never stops, the cleanup crew stays on duty, and inflammation itself starts becoming part of the problem, wearing things down. Under persistent stress, then, the cell starts switching priorities. It burns less fuel and it stores more. The mitochondria slow their energy output, and the cell becomes less responsive to insulin. That's not failure, it's actually self-protection. From the outside, though, it looks like insulin resistance, it looks like fatigue, and it looks like a slow metabolism. It's the biological version of safe mode. Everything still works, just not efficiently. And now the pattern becomes familiar. Lower ATP, or energy, because the battery in the cell never fully recharges. More oxidative stress, that's constant trickle of internal friction. Chronic inflammation, because the repair mode is always stuck on. Slower mitochondria, producing less energy and more storage. And reduced insulin response. Fuel can't get into the cell easily. Now, each of these on its own is manageable, but together they describe a cell that's alive but fragile, running but not thriving. And that's how temporary stress turns into a lasting slowdown. It starts as protection, but with chronic repetition, the signal never turns off. Next time we'll zoom out to see how millions of these fragile cells reshape entire organs and systems. That's where the familiar chronic conditions begin.